Welcome to Sustainable Packaging with Cory Connors. I'm really excited about my guest today, Mr. Aaron Tucker, who is the Michigan State University Academic Advisor to graduate and undergraduate students. Hey, Aaron, how are you, sir?
Oh, I am great. Thank you so much for having me, Cory.
I'm thrilled. We've been talking for like a year almost, trying to schedule this because it's so important to me to understand how the students of packaging are learning about sustainability. But I want to start first about kind of your background. How did you get into packaging and then into this role?
Definitely. So, like most people, was not a straight shot, right? My educational background is actually not in packaging. So I have a undergraduate degree in communications, which led me into the sign and graphics industry. So in that industry, you're working with multiple substrates, you're creating, you're building, you're working with customers. So similar to what you're doing, as a graphic design artist, or I always like to say the architectural design, right, of a package. So working one-on-one with customers, that brought me into academia. So working with people really led me to go back to my passion, which was literally just working with students. So I received a master's degree in, you could say, lifelong education or higher ed, so which led me to academic advising. And at that time, I was working with exploratory students, so students that are just finding their way. So really similar to working with customers and industry. You're helping them find their passion, find their goal and what they're looking for. An opportunity arose to be part of the School of Packaging here at Michigan State. And I knew immediately that this is where I wanted to be. Now, I joke and say, I'm a lifer now. I really don't see myself, in any other industry. And I truly live vicariously like through our students and to see the amazing things that they're doing. So.
It's such an important role that you're serving. I remember being in college and not having any idea what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to go into advertising, and I thought, that sounds interesting, but I was terrible at advertising. My creative genes are not there. It just didn't work. But then I went into the business side of things and started getting really good grades and started, to work with a counselor like yourself and an advisor is so key to success for students. I highly recommend get very close to an advisor like yourself.
Yeah, no, that is, for me, I always tell, all my students, like, I could care less if you received, 30 on your ACT or 15, right? Those are numbers. It's your hard work and your dedication to, your future goals and success. And that's a big part of it, is talking with your academic advisor and making sure you are on the most appropriate path.
Yes, absolutely. And then, I'm very excited to talk to you about the school that you work at is one of the most famous packaging schools in the world. I don't want to say it's the most famous because I can't confirm that.
Yeah.
But it's certainly one of about three that I hear about all the time in the industry. Yeah. And so can you tell us about, the programs, the direction the school is heading? I remember 6 months ago you were telling me that you had a big announcement coming.
Yeah.
Can we make that announcement today?
Yeah. So actually the announcement happened, oh boy, maybe a month or two ago. And we have an amazing director here at the School of Packaging, Dr. Matthew Dahm. And, we joke and say, he's our Yoda or our golden boy. He has worked tirelessly since his arrival, which was maybe a year and a half ago. He came in right when the pandemic started.
Oh, wow.
So he actually he accepted, and he worked from home for over a half a year.
Jeez.
So that was, a rough start, for everyone. But he has just been working tirelessly, with multiple partners in industry and even not in industry, right, to support our students. And one of those partners is Amcor. Amcor so graciously has committed to a $10.8 million donation for the school, which would, and that hit the news release or the press. I would like to say it's been almost 2 months now, and it has been a warm welcome. It's almost like a breath of fresh. In academia, with any school, regardless if you're privately or publicly funded, there's always challenges in funding, and having the support from AMCOR has been a true blessing. And what's even more important with that donation and that contribution is a large sum of that contribution is going directly towards a tenured faculty chair for sustainability.
Wonderful.
So yeah, and that was part of the agreement. Yeah, and the other part of that funding is actually for an amazing facelift for the School of Packaging. It's been decades since we have remodeled, and needless to say, after 6 months, a lot of stuff is out of date anyways, right? So we are looking forward to breaking ground on renovations in January. And huge shout out to AMCOR and their whole team for coming in and working with Matt and listening to our needs and supporting the students of the School of Packaging now and in the future.
That's amazing. So when you say breaking ground, are you building new buildings, or can you tell us a couple projects that
Yeah, so we are
this?
renovating. Yeah, we are renovating. We are so fortunate to have our own building already. So we have a whole building dedicated towards packaging. So, and if you were to come, and I hope you and everyone else who is listening have the opportunity to come and visit us. We have some amazing labs and technology. But when you walk in, it looks like you're walking into the 80s, right? And that's really great on Spirit weekends, But so we're getting new space for graduate students. We're getting more space for students can study. We're allow more natural light to come in, technology upgrades. So I think this will really set the bar for students coming in. And I always talk with students. You mentioned other packaging programs. We have students all the time who explore those programs, and they have an amazing programs, or they have amazing programs as well. And this might just set us apart with our recent upgrades and additions to our labs. So I'm super excited about that.
Definitely. I just interviewed Julie from packagingschool.com. And, that could be the next step for your students after they graduate, some just continued education. I'm planning to take a class there. So, but I saw that announcement. AMCOR also announced that they are making a brand new mono-material pill packaging tray. And so that I think fits right in with what you're talking about with sustainability and recyclability and things like that. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be a part of packaging.
It is. There are so many companies that, maybe in the last 5 years and probably decade that have set, goals, for more sustainable packaging. And I've already seen it like on the shelves where, more film is being replaced with more sustainable packaging. It's truly amazing to see that. And if you don't mind, Cory, I'd love to go back just a little bit. You mentioned, the prestige of our institution.
Yeah.
We were the first packaging program in the world. And when I tell, prospective students and even current students that, they're like, well, how? Right? Well, we didn't create packaging, right? Packaging has been around for thousands of years, right? In one form or another. But what we did, we helped turn it into a science, right? And it's been truly a blessing. And we actually broke off of forestry in 1952. So we are affiliated, right? So a lot of people, they say the same thing.
Yeah.
So we were affiliated with our College of Ag and Natural Resources, which is amazing because that's how Michigan State was established. We're a land grant institution. We're the first land grant institution, and being a part of our College of Ag and Natural Resources just really fits right into that. We are the only packaging program in the United States that offers a PhD in pack. We have an amazing master's program and our undergrad is being revamped right now. We'd like to consider ourselves at the top, right? But there's no body right now to indicate like who is, but we can say that we have produced more packaging graduates than any institution in the United States that are currently employed in the United States. And some data and statistics indicate that we produce over 50% of the current packaging professionals that are employed in the United States. So when we say we roll deep, we really roll deep.
Those are big numbers.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well
Thank you.
done.
I mean, it's just, it's those before me, right? And I'm just, riding on their coattails, and it's just super exciting to be a part of such an amazing.
And it makes sense to me that the forestry would be connected with the packaging. I used to work at Weyerhaeuser. That's where I got my start. When I was 18 years old, I graduated high school, and I didn't want to go to college. I wasn't ready for it. So I went and worked in a box plant full time for a year and made boxes. And working at Weyerhaeuser taught me how connected, obviously, trees and paper are. And so that makes sense to me. And that's a really cool connection. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you can see, we have some, corrugated stuff. We love corrugated board, and you can do so much with corrugated board. So
Yeah, for those of you listening and not watching the video yet, I will post this on YouTube so you can watch the video eventually. But behind Aaron is a Spartan helmet. It looks like it's made out of corrugated to me.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. And actually, we partnered with a company, Onyx Packaging, who worked with us on that. So shout out to Onyx. And we have students, who can create some amazing, projects with corrugated board, and really just let our artistic creativeness just flow. So amongst other things, we have a glass, packaging competition every year.
Really?
And our students just, some of the things that they've created is just truly amazing.
Like the glass is the packaging, or you're figuring out how to package glass?
So the glass is the packaging. Yeah. So, and it could be from sriracha, perfume, beverages. I've seen some pretty amazing styles incorporated into each brand and each product. So super exciting. So if you get an opportunity to come to the School of Packaging, we have a whole showcase dedicated to, our students' work and projects. And we love just showing, the public and alumni, what we're doing. And speaking of alumni, we have a very, very strong alumni presence that really, really support us. So the Packaging Alumni Association support us through scholarships. They help support our tutoring help room. So, we have a tutoring help room. So, and this is just for our packaging students. Myself, and I'm very honest, with everyone. My math and chemistry skills were not where they needed to be when I started college, and I worked very hard to get where I needed. And we see a lot of students where they struggle with those math and chemistry and even physics, and because they have to get through those courses, right, to get to the fun courses,
Right.
so they can understand the material and have that background knowledge. But we have a philosophy here that if anyone wants to be a packaging student, we're going to give them the tools needed to be successful, right? And so we do have a standard, right? So they have to get a certain GPA in each course and a cumulative GPA. But we have students who come in a very low math, but we give them the tools needed to be successful. We work with them, and they do eventually get admitted. So yeah, so shout out to the PAA as well.
Yeah, I can certainly relate to that. I remember taking statistics 3 times in college. It's hard. There's certain classes that just don't work with your brain. It just takes time. So tutoring is so key to success. So are you finding that your students are more focused on sustainability now than ever?
So this is so interesting because we have students that go into 2 tracks here at Michigan State. And one is more value chain, supply chain oriented. And the other is packaging science, which leads to sustainability. Very often you will find students actually doing both, because they literally want the best of the best of both worlds. So yes, the students are very interested, and they understand the importance of sustainability. And some students who are not too familiar with sustainability. So
Yeah.
So I always have to give them that quick, elevator speech, right? Mm-hmm. And what I like to say is, just making sure what we have here today is here tomorrow, right? And it's so general, right? And it can encompass so much, and we dig deeper, right? With that, with materials, with our lifestyle, supplies. So we dig a little bit deeper in that. But to answer your question, Cory, yes, they are very interested, and we're actually, I don't know how to frame this, or if I should frame this, right? But we're changing our curriculum right now
Oh, wow.
to become more data analytic focused, as
Okay.
well as having a requirement in packaging sustainability. So we're discussing that, right? Because everything involves, data analytics, and everything involves sustainability. So, and because a lot of students are taking our packaging sustainability course taught by Dr. Raphael, they are seeing, the benefits of that. And most importantly, our industry partners are seeing the benefits of that. So that helps towards placement, either for full-time and internship opportunities as well.
Absolutely correct. With the onset of extended producer responsibility, it's not going to be optional anymore. It's going to be required. There's companies that are stepping up already in advance of the requirement, and I think that's really smart. A friend of mine runs a recycling facility in South Africa, and he's already talking about how Coke and Pepsi are changing things. They're increasing their PCR levels for their PET bottles. They've removed green from their Sprite, went back to clear. Things like this are changing in advance of extended producer responsibility. But now, as it ramps up, I think you'll see more and more requirements of that.
Oh, of course. And to be honest, Cory, prior to coming into packaging, I recycled, right? But I think I recycled and took it for granted,
Sure.
right? And being in the industry, and even like on the outside looking in, I've just been so fortunate enough to see like what actually happens behind the scenes, right? And the uniqueness and what and how it can impact our lives for the future. And more people should definitely have an opportunity to see that inside look to the importance of recycled glass, metals, paper, etc. Right? So
I totally agree. It's such an insight into the world when you realize you don't just throw it in the bin and magically it becomes something new again. There are so many steps and so much involved with what we're doing as consumers that we must, as packaging professionals, teach the consumer what to do with their packaging after they've used it. It's so critical.
Yeah. And I mean, just washing, the plastic or glass containers. And just last night I had a salad dressing bottle, and my son went to go throw it, we used it, right? And went to go throw it in the recycling. And I'm like, no, stop. Like, he was like, what's going on? I'm like, no, we have to rinse that out first, and so it's just those small things, that we could, learn and try to, take, into the future that will definitely, and just pass to our friends and family, and let them know some of the tricks of the trade, right? So
I oftentimes have people text me things. Is this recyclable? Do you like this? What is this cool packaging? And it's an honor to me to even be consulted on things like that. But
yeah.
So Aaron, you're an expert. You've been in the packaging school for how many years now?
I'm going on 4 years.
4 years.
Going on 4 years. I've been in higher ed for over 10.
10 years in higher ed. What do you see as the future of sustainable packaging?
Oh, man. I know it sounds very generic, Cory, but education, starting at the ground level and working your way up, because if we are working with our students right now, they're going to see the importance if we instill that in them, right? Yeah. So that's on us. That's on us as educators, and it's also on the companies, right? So the major companies that are out there, as you indicated, that have these goals and that are beating or on track or on pace to meet their goals, it's on them as well. So going back to education and making sure our students are aware of what the future may bring, right? And that's from just understanding what that recycle logo means, right? And what those numbers mean within that logo. And just because you have that logo on there doesn't mean you can recycle it at home, right? You may have to take it someplace else. For an example, we are very fortunate enough to have a company here in Lansing, Michigan, that has a drop off for styrofoam.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Dart Container.
Okay.
Dart Container, yeah.
Oh, I know Dart Container. Great company.
Yeah, they're based here in mid-Michigan. And I just wish that there were more, locations, right?
Yeah.
Because we see a lot of, styrofoam go into the, into the trash, or individuals think, you can recycle it, and it's very difficult to recycle. So yeah, going back to answer your question, going back to education to help for a better future.
Yes. I feel like there's always been a debate. I mean, I've been focusing on this, I've been in packaging for 24 years now. I've been focusing really on sustainability for the last couple of years. There's this big debate on recycling versus biodegradable, and which one is really better for the world. I haven't answered that question in my own head yet, but I think if I had to answer that today, I would say both. We need to figure out how to do both properly. I just interviewed John from Cruise Foam. They're making foam out of chitin. And, this is an amazing revelation that, you can almost not recommend it to, but you could almost throw it in the ocean when you're done with it, which is incredible, but we don't want to encourage that. Please don't do that.
Yeah. No,
we want to biodegrade it properly or recycle any way we can. But it's
you actually just remind me of something that happened in my chemistry class in high school. And my chemistry teacher, she took a packaging peanut and put water on it, and it started to dissolve.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when the first time that I kind of saw package and actually acknowledged it, right? I was in awe, and I'm still in awe to this day to see that cornstarch breakdown,
It's cool.
And I'm like, look at this, look what I could do, So every time I get those peanuts, I look for that texture and to see, is this something that we could break down? So if you haven't had an opportunity yet, always check your packaging peanuts to see if you can break those down with water.
Yes, the starch-based peanuts are a great option to polystyrene peanuts for sure. I recommend that, definitely. And they work really well. We've seen that happen. So what's the best way for people to get a hold of you, to get a hold of the school? Is it the website?
Yeah, definitely. I have a couple different methods. So packaging.msu.edu. That's just visit our undergrad site. During the pandemic, I say during, like it's past us.
Right.
But I had to connect with my students some way or in some form, right? And emails, you can only send so many emails. So I actually started my own TikTok and Instagram account.
Yeah.
So, and I actually receive a lot of traffic on there from prospective students as well as industry partners. So please feel free to follow me and like videos. It's in my is at PKG Advisor, ADVISOR. So PKG Advisor.
Yeah, we are friends on TikTok. I like your videos. I saw one the other day where you're talking about go green, go white. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think we were in.
Yeah.
I think we were in the Spartan Stadium with some students, some packaging students took a tour. And, we have some amazing things that we're working on with, not just MSU football, but other departments on campus. And they look towards us, right? So on what we're doing and where the industry is going. So, so at Michigan State, we always say go green, go white. So that's our call to action.
Well, it sounds like an amazing school, and I can't wait to come visit. So thank you so much, Aaron, for your time. We really appreciate it.
Cory, thank you for having me, and love your videos too. And I know my students love your videos as well. So please continue what you're doing and spreading the good word.
Will do. I'd like to thank Landsberg Aurora for continued sponsorship of this podcast. Please take a minute to review and share this with your friends. We truly appreciate it. Thanks again, Aaron.
Go green.